Do they go back to the tried and true, something that we would anticipate to be the case? Or do they try, you know, the Lilia, Ziggs, Jinx lane swap? Same band so far, Akali Thresh.
Whatever it is, I don't want to see Lilia Ziggs again. I think that combination did not work wonders for SK. So SK keeping things very similar. Same can be said for Schalke. But do SK also ban the Shen here? I do feel like that's a very strong pick for Odoamne and can shut down playmaking when you look to play through Crown Shot towards that bottom lane. So I would not be surprised. I also don't think there was like a standout OP pick from Schalke in the last game. So yeah, SK continue to go to their methods. That's always banning away these power, you know, individual cover picks.
Yeah, exactly the same bans as the previous game as well for the SK side. Schalke on this other side, it's a Caitlyn Thresh. It's going to be a Yuumi first pick. Whether or not Schalke feel like they want to get rid of that Ezreal now and give it to Neon, or go with something that we've seen him play a lot. The Senna was the option in game 1.
So I don't think stealing away Ezreal necessarily works versus SK, because Crown Shot has already proven that he plays a lot of different champions with this Yuumi. He has played the Misfortune, but I think what everyone's looking at is the Twitch, whether or not he would bring that one out again in the bottom lane. We saw how powerful that combination could be, but I do, that being said, feel that Ezreal plus Yuumi is such a solid 2 versus 2 to play around, especially if you pair it up with some poke champions, some zone control champions, and just unlock Crown Shot's ability to play super, super well around 2 items and really give him the agency to carry on his own.
I mean, I love seeing the Hecarim again. It was executed flawlessly by Gilius. It was a very good response as well. And I saw how excited you were as well with how early.
Honestly, the irony is that we spent all of ReadyCheck, our analysts were saying, look, SK is the team, you know what you're going to get. They play team fights, they play standard. Schalke are so flexible, and it's just Schalke playing the same exact things game in and game out.
But to be fair, right? To be fair, it's more as well the decision-making, right? Like how Schalke demonstrated their flexibility under pressure.
Yeah.
They were being invaded on, there was a lane stop they could initiate, there was fun picks being thrown up by SK, but it didn't end up being fun for it.
Yeah, and hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep running it back. You would not be surprised to see a Nautilus come through for Dreams again in the bottom lane. I think while, you know, you do have a range support in the form of a Yuumi on the other side, Senna plus Nautilus very powerful in the 2 versus 2 because the slows from the ice or for the Glacial Augment as well as Nautilus. If you ever jump on someone, you can get a lot of damage dealt.
Schalke just trying to run this one back, by the way. That's what it feels like so far.
Why not?
Exactly. As we see the Ezreal locked in, out of the 19 games that have been played on stage, this being the 20th now, 9 of them have been Ezreal for Crown Shot. So definitely, significantly, by far his most played champ. This is the second time that we will see Gen X on that gangplank, as I am assuming that's going to be up in the top lane.
Ooh.
And the Skarner ban.
I actually really like the Skarner ban. I think that Skarner plus Yuumi can be pretty deadly at chasing people down, but also instant CC is sort of Hecarim's nightmare once he already dives into the backline. If you just shut him down with an R, that can be pretty tough to deal with. Because right now, again, not a lot of stuff to lock him down. Gilius, if he's able to get to a Trinity Force level 11, this Hecarim pick, you saw how much damage it can do and how unstoppable it was with that ultimate later on. It can be really painful for Crown Shot to deal with, although I will say on an Ezreal this time, he has more options than when he was on that Jinx.
Yeah, definitely the case, and a little bit more safety options to count as well, especially going up against the likes of the Hecarim. Sejuani is going to be the next ban. Now, if this gangplank does end up being in the top lane, as we fully expect that it will, we don't have that tank, we don't have that initiation. It was something that we talked about, the analyst has talked about as well. And we'll see if Schalke are going to lock something in now, because Phase 2 in Game 1 had a couple of top laners removed.
Yeah, but I think with Trick not on the Lily, at least yet, I think we would be more inclined to see him go for something like the some sort of tank in the front line, the Sejuani. A lot of these tank options have actually been banned away, which does make it difficult. One combo I love to see with Ezreal Zoe is like Ezreal Yuumi is Kha'Zix Zoe. I think that the zone control you can get from Empowered Evolved W, his Rax, is going to be really deadly, as well as a Zoe if you wanted to go for some sort of poke, but I don't know if you can actually run that versus a Hecarim and an Orianna. That's way too much hard engage.
Wasn't it Schalke that pulled that off in week 8 and we were in love with it as well, actually? I recall us praising it. The one thing I really like about Schalke's drafting strategy, by the way, you've got fairly safe options locked in for games 1 and game 2, and they allow some flexibility for Odo. This is the second time in a row we're going to have Lee Sin and Syndra, so a little bit more pick-oriented as opposed to the engage. And now Schalke, what do they want to run? Traditional tank into GP or something a bit more aggressive? We'll find out.
Yeah, it depends on how Odoamne is feeling. I think right now you could go ahead and get away with running a tank. You're going to have the damage later on just by having a Hecarim. It gives you that extra damage threat that you don't need to run an Aatrox or something up topside. So I really like to see the Scion coming through, because now by locking in some giant beef ball in the top lane for Odo, like SK don't really have that many lanes to play through. You can't really play through top lane or bottom lane. It really is just Trick trying to set something up around mid. But usually when we see Lee Sin plus Syndra, the power comes from, yes, threatening the 2 versus 2, but also then moving that power into a top lane or a bottom lane dive. And I'm not necessarily sure that SK have the champions in those side lanes to enable them to do that.
Now, what about the Schalke perspective? In contrast to game 1, the Reactive swapped out for Scion. How do you want to see them play this one?
I mean, I feel like Schalke can be a little bit sleepy in this game. They're going to unlock it, you know, 2 items a little bit later on. Just let Gilius get to a level 6, a level 11. These points, Schalke's team fighting is going to be really deadly. And as we saw in the last one, can they shut down SK fights? Let's see if they can do it.
As we hit the riff for game 2 of SK versus Schalke. Reminder that Schalke won the first game pretty handily. Because of that fact, we have a celebration coming up. The last pick in draft was Odo Wamne, with the fact that Schalke won the previous game. Odo Wamne has picked up 200 LEC wins.
Clap, clap, clap.
A lot of claps indeed, but we do have a little bit more tangible to discuss about Odo, because this is one of the staples of the playoffs. 12 splits he's played, he's made playoffs in 10 of them, with the exception of sort of the last year and a half. You know, has really been one of the absolute top contenders, and it's great to see him back on a team that is performing. And for Odo in particular, 2020 has been a difficult year.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has been. If you look at Schalke in spring, get off to a terrible start, then all of a sudden spin things around, but just fall barely shy of playoffs in summer. It was the same exact story, but they found what worked for them, and Odo Wamne very much helping lead the charge for Schalke to pull it into a playoffs run.
And he's one of the senior players, not only in the team, but also one of the senior players here in the league. Has been widely considered as one of the best, but very rarely in the discussion for the best, right? And I'm very excited to see how the Schalke run will continue. They won the first game in the series. And remind you lose the series, you're knocked out of playoffs, and let's see what Odo can do. He's going to be on the beef ball, I think was how you phrased it in the draft. And you said sleepy Schalke. So we could be potentially, if Trick doesn't find a gear, in for a slower early game.
Yeah, because it's kind of weird here looking at these two comps, because I don't feel like either are super forced to make a ton of plays. If anything, I am looking at Trick to make use of the Lee Sin and the Syndra.
The options are there, but he doesn't have
to. Exactly. No, but I do feel like there's a little bit more of an emphasis on Trick side of things in this game, because even looking at this Syndra pick, I'm hesitant to see the value of it against what Schalke brought compositionally. You know, Syndra, a ton of single target burst, that's going to be great for you, of course, but when you have a Scion, a Hecarim, a Nautilus, these champions are hard to cut through. Neon is also going to be able to offer, you know, healing and shields to his team. And Orianna's Ball not only does it give a shield, but also gives you flat resistances, MR, which is super effective against that Syndra, which makes it really hard for to find a target to cut through with her ultimate. And she doesn't really have great burst champions next to her either, I feel like, to help her get into that threshold quickly.
We'll take a first look at the roam here from Dreams if it goes nowhere before any potential threat onto Zazie.
Oh, yeah, I like this.
Bridge line, if it connects.
This is really cool. No man on Zazie.
Reminder, it was Dreams. Fantastic push back there from Zazie. The follow-up, yet he's holding onto the flash. Now goes underneath the tower. Level 2, there goes Obadagi forward. He's tower dove, gone too far, and will not get taken down. What did they commit to that? Both flashes in the mid lane. And I really thought Dreams was at risk there.
Yeah, I mean, Dreams was obviously trying to tank the tower for Obadagi. Obadagi overestimates his damage by a long shot going on towards Zazie there. So I do think he was in a position where he could have held on to his flash. That being said, he will be able to go back to base and TP in once again, but that does actually open up more options for Trick than if both mid laners still had their flash.
Ironically, ending up hurting that mid lane to a degree, right? Because they didn't find that kill, right?
It depends on how the next few minutes play and whether or not Schalke are the ones that can dominate vision around mid, because one other thing that we see so often, whenever we talk about Yuumi and Siren games, the team that's not running Yuumi often gets river control, because Yuumi, not a great roamer until she can get some items and then pair up with a strong jungler post their first item breakpoint. Nautilus definitely can do that.
All right, let's take a look. Scuttle Crab battle going back and forth. It's gonna be jumped on now by a devastating charge. Abadaga, remember, no flash. Teleport comes in from Genax. That is one dead mid laner. First blood picked up by Trick. They were going crab hunting. SK nailed the gates.
Yeah, there's the answer right there. Yep. It is SK that went out.
Yep.
Abadaga playing very aggressive around that top lane Scuttle Crab, and this is where I feel like Gilius could have slowed things down just a little bit for his team. Again, you know how powerful the Lee Sin and the Syndra are going to be, and I don't think they anticipated that Genax was going to teleport immediately into that top side river, but I think SK were able to pounce on that and make good use of the early skirmishing around mid lane.
Yeah, well played. 5 seconds until this Infernal Drake comes up, and if you did miss the first game,
first of all, what were you thinking?
Exactly. You know,
how dare you?
Welcome. Better late than never. But we were talking a little bit about the stylistic differences and how SK prioritized the Dragons. Do you feel with this composition they can do that as well and still try to, play for that? They lost control of the game, but they did pick up that first Drake, and, all of the hallmarks of an SK comp are on the Rift.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit harder with the context of this bottom lane matchup. Again, I think Senna does a very good job of punishing early on. You can see went for a Cole against the tier on the other side, but here comes Trick top.
Oh man, Trick's in trouble. If the Sonic Wave connects, there's the dash. Nope, not gonna connect.
I do like that Q from Trick, though. It was really hard to navigate with the minion wave coming on through, but that was just about as close as it's gonna get there.
Yeah, it really was. And Odo's able to escape with his life. No summoner spells or anything used. Genax did TP to lane a few minutes ago, and Odo, I want to see, yeah, he's gonna do that as well. So no TP is available, and Limit's definitely feeling the Fairy Charm power as he's returned back to lane.
It's funny, I was saying that it was going to be a sleepy early game for Schalke. I love how both teams have sort of identified this, because you have Genax going for a Cole, you have Neon going for a Cole in the bottom lane too. They realize, Schalke are the team with more playmaking options, but I also think they have some of the really solid scaling tools on their side as well. So instead, just going to set up this trap potentially on towards Trick. I don't know if they saw him on the board.
No, Trick. Well, now I think you just spotted them, obviously, at least Gilius.
Yeah, Trick saw Gilius,
yes.
But Trick was in the brush. I think he's still unknown. Gilius is level 6, though, and that's why they're trying to play around here, especially before Genax hit 6, but Genax just hit 6.
Oh, Dreams is going to be the first one to get jumped in here. Wow, he actually turns on with the Dredge line.
Oh.
Some sort of shadows comes in, but the damage back onto Dreams is immense. He gets caught up by a Mystic Shot, can take the Blast Cone, and he's actually going to go deeper into enemy territory. Now Gilius is being run down. Remember, flashless target. Trick's going to be able to go in and get out. Gilius goes down. Very well played. Kill secured by Crown Shot. 2-0 SK.
Crown Shot taking things into his own hands, but 1,500 LEC assists for Trick right there, and maybe he should get next one. That should be 15,001, but it doesn't quite count.
I mean, the amazing thing here, 1,083 assists with G2 when he won multiple championships with that roster. 200 with Schalke and 192 with SK. It is phenomenal to think about that. How many games he did play with G2. And after the spring split performance that Trick had, at the beginning of this split and seeing him ramp up, we started saying it's coming back. We got laughed at. There was a lot of fans that were mocking the broadcast team at the beginning of summer. And now you can start to see, look, they made it into playoffs. He was able to be consistent, find some strengths. And he's 1-0-1 in this game.
And we'll see if he can continue it in this game, because so far that's been a couple of good moves for SK. But I will also say, I think Schalke over-forcing, like even in that fight down there, Gilius completely whiffed the ultimate, which very likely could have resulted in a kill for the team. So Gilius will now come in, invade the blue buff, hand that one off towards Abadaga, which I really, really like. Just shut down Zazi's pushing power. Zazi also has no mana, so he's going to have to go back to base. And now, once again, this is something I'm going to be looking for all the time. Now, it's not going to result in anything right now, but whenever Neon is basing, Dreams is actually pathing up into the river. Because of the 2v2 matchup here, Neon and Dreams almost always are pushing down towards that bottom side, so he moves over without even taking a reset himself. He is now coming up topside to hit Herald at a faster moment than SK were expecting, because SK, Crown Shot limit, they're still stuck in the bot lane with no mana. This one is going to be gifted over towards Schalke on a silver platter because of how Dreams path straight to that Herald.
Yeah, definitely the case. SK, this time around though, they still have that gold lead. See what damage can be done with this Rift Herald. That can definitely balance it out. They did get their hands on that first Infernal Drake. And there's an Ocean Drake coming up next. Let's see what level of priority SK will put on that.
That was cute. So Odoamne just used his ultimate to sprint into the bot lane and pick up some CS while his team was taking the Herald up there, so he will also have the push for his squad.
And you know what that signals? That sleepy laning phase continues, right?
It's the farm alarm!
Exactly, that's definitely the case. I mean, look, gonna get himself a plate.
I mean, that's huge. If he doesn't ult there, that is not a turret plate. He doesn't get the time to wind up his demolish and knock that one down, so well done.
Level advantage to Odo, gold advantage for the time being. Getting close to that Sunfire Cape, Crown Shot, and Limit are here in the top lane in time to respond to Neon and Dreams, and the Manamune is completed thanks to the fact that Crown Shot was able to pick up at least one of those kills that SK have secured. But for the time, you know, as this laning phase has now started, and the expectations that you had on Trixley Sin for the comp, he's managed to live up to that. I'd like to see SK continue that. I think, you know, build up some of those options. You've already talked about some of the scaling tools that Schalke have on their side. And let's see if we can find the opportunity.
So the reason why I don't think this game is going to get super explosive anytime soon, again, this is something I was talking about a little bit in draft, is while Trick and Zazi are on two very powerful 2v2 champions that can play around this middle lane, again, I feel like they are not going to be able to roam and collapse on side lanes. This is something we see from our top teams all the time when they run something like a Syndra in the mid. It's about finding these roams and finding these dives, but for two reasons, they're not going to be able to do that. One is, well, both side lanes have push right now for Schalke, because the dive is going to be harder. It's harder to command vision around those areas and not get spotted out on the way. The other one is, I don't really feel like and Ezreal Yumi are really good at punishing the Sen and the Nautilus this early into the game. Like, yes, if you have the CC and they're super out of position with, you know, a Gangplank ultimate raining down from the sky, there are options, but I feel like it's less realistic to expect that coming through from Schalke, or from SK, rather.
From SK, no, I totally expect that. And I think what's going to be interesting about this game is the fact that Janax and Zazi both being on the GP and the Syndra. In the playoffs, like, hype video that came out, Crownshot says in that video, I now have a team that can help me carry. And there's a lot of subtext to that line, right? And we as a broadcast have come in going, if the rest of the team don't help carry, that means SK are likely not to win this series. And this is a game where I want to see standout performances and statements here as they put themselves in this position, right? And it's going to be up to the rest of SK to, you know, help bring the series back to 1-1.
But it's also really fun to see Crownshot in that position, because the last time SK made playoffs was in the first split of the LEC. Nwame is just going to scoot out of here. But if you remember that team, that was self-made and crew. That Crownshot wasn't really in the conversation. Like, yeah, he was like, he played all right, but he was not the star of that team. And in 2020, after losing self-made, it was left to Crownshot as that second best player on the team to then step up, and he's done a great job so far.
He rose to the occasion indeed, and has helped carry SK back to playoffs. And right now needs to bring them back in the series, because with the tower falling in the bottom lane, Schalke now have the gold advantage as numbers in the middle lane here. And Gilius does have the option to come down. There's some good warding in that southern quadrant, and Schalke have placed, so good cover for Neon and Dreams. And 10 seconds to the Ocean Drake, so let's see if this is contested.
I mean, Schalke should have full control and the ability to go for this one. I think Genax is going to try and get a base for his Trinity Force too, and while he does have TP, I don't expect SK to contest because they're just completely zoned out of the river with no vision.
I'd love it if Schalke were like, we know SK love Drakes, we know they want to check.
No, Trick, don't do it!
They knew
it's dark!
We've talked about this a lot. Straight over the wall, into the curse, as well as a devastating charge. That's a flash engage from Dreams onto Limit, but there's no follow-up. Neon's going to be able to sidestep Scatter the Weak. Cannon Barrage comes down and Dreams will go down. He tried to Drake's line to safety. Here comes Genax. He takes a rampage to the face and tries to chase down Neon, but is rooted up in place and had no oranges to eat. But the point I was trying to make was, you know SK are going to check. You know SK love dragons. And Schalke just get themselves a free kill, get themselves a TP too, in fact, and we'll be able to get this.
Oh, and he gets a solo kill! Oh, but Doggy! You didn't even think it was possible. He just runs the man down.
Stop talking because I thought Zazi was going to flash. He had flash.
He had a stopwatch too. Don't you dare tell me he had a stopwatch before that play.
Okay, we'll have to check if we can, but like just playing it.
Okay, so first of all, Trick gets punished here, and he thinks he's smart, flashing away, but he flashes straight into Gilius' open arms. This is where Dreams goes two-hand, because actually Gilius was pathing away, Abadoge's not over here, and the Cannon Barrage punish is something we had just talked about. So Dreams goes too far without a flash to escape, and it's not a free kill, it's a 1-for-1 kill. And this is where everything should be, okay, it's a 1-for-1, but yeah, Schalke get Dragon. Well, Abadoge says, no, I want a solo kill, and how's this even happen?
So Zazi had flash and had stopwatch. Confirmed from the observers.
Auto attack, what?
And I stopped play-by-play because I just assumed Zazi was going to be able to get out, and he didn't.
I mean, it's not like there's random burst damage coming. Like, he literally just got auto-attacked twice and then a Q to the face when he was already on 80 HP. Like, that's inexcusable.
Reminder that Zazi is still a rookie to this stage, and it is first LEC playoffs. Down a game against the formidable weight and social media pressure and win streak of Schalke. There are a lot of factors that go into this, and that to me is just a brain fart, if ever I've seen one.
That is pretty much all you can chalk it up to.
That's a professional description.
Yeah, that's exactly. You get a sports psychologist to explain that one to you, Trevor.
I did indeed, yes. I have had many myself, so I'm speaking from experience here, young man. But this allows Schalke a 2,000 gold lead. Yes, they've done kills, but they've got a dragon, they've got a tower, and they once again are in a position where you start to feel they can arrest control.
Yeah, because remember, Schalke were not in a position where they had to pop off early game. Again, like, they're just like, Gilius, get your Trinity Force, and then you're going to run through. Like, there's so many squishy targets on SK, and then last game he was itemizing into a Death Stance, which I think is phenomenal, again, in a game like this, to further negate Cinder Burst. Gilius is going to be really, really tough to deal with, and SK do not have the protection, I don't feel like, to keep their backline safe. They have no one that's going to stand in front of a Scion that is charging at Zazi or charging at Jet. Like, Trick is going to dodge out of the way. There's no way he's going to tank that.
And I think it's important to recall that during the drop, that Gangplank was picked in first rotation, third pick, right? And that allowed Odoamne and Schalke the option to counter. And they did. They've got themselves designed. 0-0-0 so far for Odo. He hasn't really been allowed to do much but farm. But he'll be content, made up for the lack of farm in game one. This is the second Herald that will go the way of Schalke. And as we said, we anticipated this in drop. The onus of responsibility was on SK to start early. And they did, to their credit, right? Got themselves a couple of kills and some pressure. That previous fight has now put them in a deficit.
Okay. Trick's looking for this one with Zazi.
Let's go, let's go. Can he find anything? We'll jump onto Dreams, kicks him backwards. Nice. Teleport comes out as well. They will get the kill. Trick secures it. Teleport comes down from Crown Shot as well, and they save the tower. Maybe a little overkill, but
yeah,
I mean,
at the end of the day, it's an ADC TP, and there was no wave he lost. I think he was chilling out in mid lane after fully pushing that wave. So at best, he gets an assist there or gets the last hit. At worst, he loses a teleport, and that's not going to be the end-all, be-all for him as he still makes it back to mid in plenty of time to pick that one up. But you can see how limited SK are compositionally, especially in this stage of the game. Like, the only option they have is for Trick to play through Zazi. So I think Schalke were punished right there because they didn't realize Zazi was coming up into the top lane. But as soon as now they see where Zazi is on the map, and if they can constantly track that, they're going to know exactly what Trick is trying to do, and that should mean that no further of those free kills go Trick or SK's way.
Well, definitely the case. And Schalke are just going to be very content to continue this one. Zazi waiting in the wings. Does he have enough to insta-give Neon? I think the answer will be yes.
Oh, there's a lot of Schalke members on the way.
Stepped out of vision, and I did not look at the minimap. Here comes Gilius under the tower. Devastating charge to the face. Is going to be a flash away from Zazi. He sidesteps the dredge line, using the tower to save his life for now. Neon escapes with his life, and this time round manages to use it. The True Shot Barrage is flying, and it misses. Oh! The observers are smurfing!
But imagine if that True Shot Barrage got a kill and we had it in the little camera on the bottom. Like, that would have been so sick, guys.
I actually think the recoil animation is even more BM. You can see it fly behind them and not hit.
It's like at the end of an action movie, you see like the huge explosion in the background with the sunset. They're just like chilling, walking away.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, I think was the line that goes with it. And look, it was a little bit of a dramatic tower dive. I got a little excited by it. At the end of the day, it's another kill in favor of Schalke, and now there's a Mountain Drake on the cards. This time, though, SK a little bit better prepared.
But Zazi doesn't have an ultimate. There's no flash on him either. This is going to be a tough one to fight for, and tougher if Trick is just instant.
Trick is going to get blown up. Yeah, that's a 2-on-1 kill. They take him out. Crown Shot will be able to find a kill, though, onto Neon. Didn't quite see how that one played out, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and now there's no smite in the pit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just Ezreal plus Yuumi locking down Neon, but they got the turn again!
They did indeed. Gilius jumps onto Zazi, couldn't even use the ultimate. Dreams uses that stopwatch. Now Crown Shot's going to arcane shift over the wall. Dreams is able to escape with his life for the time being. The Shockwave is still available from Adage, waiting for him to pull the trigger. Shockwave goes out, and that actually catches onto Gen X, but Gen X is being able to use the parlay to great effect, and Crown Shot pushes them back with Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot. Gets caught up by a decimating smash at the finish line. He gets the kill onto Dreams. Croucher will get by the curse of the sand mist. And now SK are in full retreat. Does Gilius fancy himself a charge into the face? And the answer is no.
Yeah, we gotta calm down because Trick's on the way. Schalke do need to back up. That fight was so close right there. And you can see an Ezreal teamfight is decided by whether or not he can E forward aggressively. Well, Trick's jumping on now.
Yes, indeed. The Sonic Wave connected. Here comes Gilius. Trick may have gone too far, chased too hard, and he's able to escape thanks to that ward hop. And that dragon still yet lives. Will Schalke be able to get back in time?
No, I think SK should be able to pick that one up. So watch this again, because Trick, this is again the problem of not having Yuumi and not pairing up with the Yuumi. He's caught out, he has no vision, gets dunked on, but here's Neon disrespecting in all honesty, very greedy, should have moved down in towards the river. That being said, it is a good pick from Crownshot and crew to recognize that, but Neon without a support, like, what's the purpose of stepping forward to hit that tower? Just does not mean anything. That being said, I think the pick here on Zazie is very nice, but you'll notice once the initial CC goes down, it is now Ezreal's time to party. He gets over the wall, they have the ult to slow from the gangplank, the Yuumi Qs as well, and he can 1v3 zone away Schalke because of how low they are and because they don't have those CC options ready to go, and that just gets briefly turned around here because of a nice knock-up from Odoamne inside of that bush, and it really is just the snipe from Neon that's completely unfair, and he did not expect.
I'm just such a sucker for the timing. The fact that that ultimate like signpost that is coming, that small delay on the wind-up, and seeing the stopwatch end and instantly drop, it just really makes me happy.
Yeah, because again, Crownshot played that fight so beautifully, and if there is not a Senna ult that had just come back from respawning, he lives.
Absolutely the case. He, by the way, is now 3-1-1, got the Frozen Fist, got the Mirror Mana upgraded, and SK did pick up that Mountain Drake during the course of the replay. So 2 Drakes towards that Soul in their preferred play style for the time being. Taking a look at some of the other items, by the way, Triforce completed for Gilius, Duskblade of Drakthar, probably the best name of any item in the game, picked up for Schalke, and now they should be able to secure this 3rd tower. Looking at the minimap, no one will be able to reply, but Schalke, again, they are still in control. And if we like their composition as this game continues to scale out, I think it's going to be significantly easier to execute as well.
It sort of feels like it's Crownshot and GenX versus Schalke, because we are very quickly reaching the point where Zazie and Trick are going to be, you know, not super relevant. Unfortunately for them, and it's good news for SK that those are the 2 players that do have the money for the time being, but it's going to be a combination of them using their slows from the Iceborne as well as, you know, GenX with those, you know, barrel shots to be able to buy space for those 2 that is going to be able to win them fights if they are, because again, they are falling behind.
And I do want to call people's memory back to, you know, 1v9 performances that Crownshot has needed to pull off. Abadaga's at risk of being dove here. Dreams might be able to make it in place. Good flash from Trick to get over the shockwave. Abadaga stays alive a few seconds longer thanks to the Neon ultimate. And here comes Gilius. He decides to ult in, and yes, he does. That's 1 dead Syndra.
Doesn't even need the ult. He just runs him down.
Oh, devastating charge. You're 100% right. Held on to it. Does he go in again, though? Dreams has got his ulti. There's no tower to fall back to. Yeah, that was just the E.
He got buffed. He's faster now on this pad, like just running people down. There's nothing that Zazie can really do about it, unfortunately.
And the point I was trying to bring up about Crownshot's carry performance is when I think about his performance against XL, and it was the Ezreal versus Aphelios. He almost won that game. Fantastic positioning, difficult scenario, difficult situation. And obviously the rest of SK doing their best here to try and find those picks where they can.
Yeah, that was a nice flash there from Trick, dodging out away from the... wait, what's going on with Zazie? He just tanked 1 million tower shots. 3 tower shots, can't get an assist, unfortunately.
I really think there's a little bit of pressure here. You know, Zazie making more uncharacteristic mistakes, I feel, than I have seen in a while. And that will be difficult because you've already said his champion's going to have a difficulty getting into this game.
Yeah, that's, I mean, he's 0-4. He only has 1 finished item. Abadage has already completed the Spellbinder. So, yeah, we're not looking at Zazie anymore. Now he's the range CC option that can finish off targets that Crownshot and GenX have damaged. That's his role in this game as we move forward, unfortunately for him. And, I mean, maybe if he can soak a Hecarim ult, that is winning for him. If Crownshot doesn't have to worry about that or doesn't have to worry about Odo.
That is very true. And you see how that previous Dragon fight played out. We're 1 minute and 10 until the next one. SK are constantly fighting into darkness. The Observers just highlighted it flawlessly. Schalke's vision has been very impressive around the objectives. Crown shot, forced to flash, as Dreams was able to find the initiation and Neon gets taken out. Genax manages to help, but there goes Trick. He manages to find Abadage. The Onslaught Shadows forces him backwards. There was no follow-up. The kick was great, but the damage didn't land. Decimating Smash from Odo slows down. SK is caught. The Shockwave is okay, but doesn't really do much. Trick loses his life in exchange for Neon. And Schalke are able to escape. 40 seconds to Dragon, so vision can be challenged and controlled. And SK, they punch back.
Yeah, so everyone will be able to reset. The question is, what flashes were burned that will not be up for this next Dragon fight, and what long cooldown ults will not be able to be accessed again, because GP ult is certainly going to be missing. Same can be said for Yuumi, whereas Gilius maybe going to be charging up a little bit sooner than that. Schalke still playing aggressively. Neon can teleport in here if they need him to, and the same can be said for Abadage and Odo.
Let's take a look who's going to get the advantage. I love the fact that every time we do have a Dragon fight over, everybody throws everything at it. And take a look down the ultimates as well. Almost all available with the exception Genex Limit. Who's still on a long cooldown. SK going to be the first into the pit and doesn't look like Schalke.
Yeah, I think Schalke are going to give this one up. They're actually looking to steal the enemy blue buff. Look at that. Abadage teleports top lane, not to get a tower, but to steal the enemy blue buff to take away enemy jungle camps. I really like this as a pivot too, because it allows them to, I would say, put down wards in the enemy jungle, but no one has room for controls in their inventory, so you know, seen better days there.
It would have been a benefit.
It would have been nice if that was an option for them, but still, just having the presence up there will make it easier for Dreams and Neon to push through mid and then layer in that vision a little bit later than that initial push.
All right, at this point in game one, Schalke had won. It was over. The Nexus had been destroyed.
Really? It was that fast?
It was 25.5 minutes, dude. 8 to 8 in kills. It's a 2,000 gold advantage for Schalke. Baron really wasn't even, pivotal. It wasn't a deciding factor, really. Because Schalke were able to significantly... It did. It finished the game, right? But the game was pretty much over before, right? The coffin was just being closed. This time around, there is going to be bouts around the Dragon Soul, around the potential Baron. And I think it's going to be up to SK to impress. They do have some tools. We've seen that they can. And we see Crown Shot at 3, 1, and 2 is the difference maker for the team.
Yeah, Crown Shot's been really, really impactful so far in this matchup, and you can see you went for the Leanders, but you can see, like, it is a very telling story that when SK are successful, it is because Crown Shot is winning right alongside it. The amount it contributes in terms of overall damage to winning through the laning phase. Like, he is the man that all SK fans are believing in and hoping will carry them into a potential Worlds.
And Twitch chats are hoping to spam Crowny do well, Crowny. I mean, I want to ask your opinion on this Leandri's build as well, because I think I like it into the Hecarim and the Scion.
Yeah, so the idea is that in extended fights, you stack up the Madness passive, which of course amplifies all of your DPS. It's not just magic. And he also does some magic damage. Here we go.
It's not too bad. Zazi's going to be able to flash away from the E of Hecarim. Gilius held onto his ultimate, the Cannon Barrage, as well as Unleash Power and True Shot Barrage fired. So 3 ultimates from 1 spell of Gilius. That is a huge benefit, but can Schalke find another window for the team fight?
I mean, they're just going to charge at them. Schalke are so fast, they're going forward.
Straight over the wall, because the Black Mist comes out as well. Crown Shot does get the support of the rest of the team, as long as he is alive.
Whoa!
Shockwave catches on Azazi, he's got no flash available. The Dredge Line! Dreams, are you kidding me? He gets the ultimate down onto Crowny. Crowny stays alive thanks to the help of the cat, and now all of a sudden Schalke need to back away. Crowny had to pull everything out to stay alive.
Yeah, but Abadage going, full ham looking for the forward flash there onto Zazi, almost turned into even more kills. On top of that is SK Crown Shot, looking to hunt down Odo for a moment, but we'll have to back up. Whenever Yuumi's ultimate is up, you can look for picks like that. When it's down like it was, not going to work. But let's see this again, because you can see how fast Gilius and Odo are. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the team, not as fast. So while all the CC does come through, the follow-up isn't there. Abadage can't put down the ultimate immediately, I don't feel like, with Crown Shot able to walk over towards the side. But he sees Zazi, and he knows there's no flash on this Syndra. Zazi hasn't had flash this entire game. He's just constantly getting picked on. So it's a great flash ulti there. Of course, Dreams follows it onto it beautifully and does help them get that kill.
And with all the pressure as well, you do have to, again, sing some praises. Crown Shot did a great job of at least...
Also, that kick, I think, was a 4-man kick from Trick that very much helped in Crown Shot escaping there.
Very nicely done, but it's defensive. It's reactionary. The threat of the engage from Gilius forced out 3 SK ultimates. Then the real engage allowed them to secure at least a couple of kills, or at least the one rather. By the way, Gilius 4-1-2 on that Hecarim. 2 games in a row, having significant impact. Zender loses his notes in his pen.
No one has to know.
I just told them. It was very humorous to me. And we're once again going to reset. Mountain Salt, do you think it really matters here for SK's comp?
Yes. I mean, I think SK already an inherent disadvantage compositionally and based on the time and the gameplay.
Oh,
so
Concha
close.
loses his flash for that one, but now
they're going to get him.
He's caught. Unstoppable onslaught into the decimating smash.
Oh!
Looking over the wall. Schalke find the initiation.
That was insane. Dreams, the team flying on in, and then Odoamne with the Titanic Hydra on the sign. Insane burst damage, shreds through Crown Shot, shreds through Limit, and now they turn to zone away as they try to knock down the Baron.
Inside the pit, Schalke looking to finish this off. This is a 5 versus 3. Trick does have the smite available. Can he take it from Gilius? That is the question. Cannon barrage is going on inside the pit. Trick.
Not if Odo has anything to say about it.
By Odo. Blast cone is still available. Hit the cone is what they need to do. Decimating smash is interrupted. The Baron is secured there by Neon. And Zazie will just get taken out. It was a thankless situation to be in, and it's not over yet.
Oh man, that's Abbedagge. He has ultimate. He wants Gen X.
He does indeed. Flash over the wall, and Abbedagge manages to use the sombrero perfectly. Gen X goes down. Mountain Drake is available as well.
It's such a good play there from Schalke. They knew they needed an extra kill. Yeah, they got Zazie, but finish off Gen X, kill that second carry threat from SK, and they get this Drake uncontested. I feel like in that situation, SK had to give away the Baron and play solely for this Drake. But because Zazie goes in, because Trick goes for the steal, they threw everything into trying to steal away the Dragon. They were unable to play for the Dragon Soul, and now Schalke have everything going for them.
5,500 gold lead, 2 Dragons. They've got the Baron as well. Watch Dreams on this play.
Yeah, this is insane here. So it starts off Abbedagge. It's Abbedagge and Dreams to force the flash through. And then the auto attack resets are going to come in as Odo winds up the full channel Q, knocks him up, and then auto just ba right there. He's an assassin on the full tank Scion, and they turn it into a Baron.
Believable. I loved your breakdown week 8 of the regular season, the Cho'Gath similar, you know, like channeling the autos, and we're going to see Odo executed flawlessly. 305, looking to make it 201 wins in the LEC.
Yeah, and remind you, for Odoamne, this Titanic Hydra, you do bonus damage based on your max health. He's gotten...
How much max health does he have?
So he has 4,270 max health, but he's gotten a bonus 1,252 from his W alone. Then he has Grasp procs on top of that, so this man is chunky.
Yeah, and remember the unstoppable onslaughts earlier in the laning phase to go pick up the HP. It was next level planning. And to give Schalke the possibility of a 9-game winning streak. If they win this game, it will be 9 in a row from the regular season and playoffs. And more importantly, it'll be 1 win away from winning the series, and then 1 more series away from Worlds. That's what's at stake here. Abbedagge will get jumped on. The Shockwave saves his life with the help of the Mist. Still got Flash available. Command Protect by some time. Abba flashes the Sonic Wave. He stays alive. Gilius hops over the wall and wants to send him back to the fountain. Trick manages to escape and take the Blast Cone too. But Abbedagge, he played that one as patiently as he could until he
Odo's trying to get into the lane to set up for an ultimate. He's about to charge down this lane. Here we go.
He is indeed. Here
oh,
he
so
goes over the wall. But look at that. The depth charge chasing Trick. Still alive for now.
Oh my, okay.
Yumi and Lee Sin are legitimately disgusting. That was impressive though.
If you thought Ezreal Yumi was annoying, wait till you play against Lee Sin Yumi when there's jungle camps he can hop to.
Oh man, using the Gromp and the wards for taxis. Trick and Limits take Schalke on a tour of Summoner's Rift.
Oh, how confident is Abba feeling?
Let's delay the inevitable.
You're inside a minion wave, dude.
Shockwave is available for Abba.
Here comes the team, though. That's his bot lane on the way. Zazie just comes in. The man can't catch a break.
No, he cannot. Dreams manages to connect with that depth charge. Dredge line correction. There's the Shockwave coming up from Abbedagge, and they get themselves a kill to Gen X. I mean, that was like the best bait ever, right?
Yeah.
You get a TP, you get Zazie in the middle lane, top lane, and you get a kill. Zazie 064. After being involved in the first 2 big plays of the game, has not been able to find his rhythm and find his groove and has been punished by Schalke repeatedly.
Yeah, and at the same time, Abadage put him in this position, got the solo kill. Yeah, Zazie didn't flash or whatever, but Abadage has played this entire game so ridiculously aggressively. Like, as an Orianna, flashing forward for the Shockwaves, starting the fights in the side lanes. Like, he is so confident, and Schalke absolutely should be with how the second half of this split has gone.
I keep expecting Schalke to slip. I keep expecting this impressive journey to come to a halt. And somehow every game I continue to find something new to be impressed by. And Schalke are, in such a commanding lead. They can look to go 2-0 up, and they've got the tools. I mean, right now they're running SK around. It is a very difficult scenario, and I don't really feel like SK have the option to come back. It would need mistakes on Schalke's parts.
Yeah, it's right now we're in a spot where Schalke, if they just play their team fights properly, there's just nothing they can really do. Because Crown Shot as an Ezreal would love to be able to hit a Senna or an Orianna or the Hecarim even, but Odo Omni and Dreams are going to be in front of him. All of his damage is going to be unloaded into tanks who have so many shielding and sustain options. It is not going to mean much. So SK, the last sort of hope for them is looking around this Drake that spawns in 40 seconds. Can Trick land a Smite Seal? And even then, will it be enough? Because I'm not convinced that it will be.
Well, we're going to find out. Is Schalke, they've got the vision control once again. They know SK's penchant and love for dragons, and if SK fall prey to this again, I'm going to be so disappointed. Now, they didn't fall prey to it because Schalke initiated. There goes Gilius in with the devastating charge. Follow Dreams and follow Odo.
Yeah, Odo, Gilius, everyone charging forward. SK starting the fight, though. But that's all ultimates wasted.
They pull the trigger too early, too many times. SK, you cannot waste those abilities, but the 3-man stun's fantastic.
Look at the kick.
Trick gets the kick, but where's the damage? Abba's able to escape for now. The shockwave is used as well. Neon is untouched. He's rattling off the damage. Crouch and escapes from up, and Dreams manages to land the dead charge. And that is it. That is done. Trick is on the dragon, and it doesn't mean a damn thing. And Schalke can take the bait.
Look, SK, you can get a dragon. Schalke are going for the win, and they beat SK in another fight. It was a desperate attempt there for SK, trying to start the fight off in the mid lane. But once again, Schalke outplayed them massively.
Compositionally speaking, Schalke don't have to commit everything to even threaten or start or win fights. And you saw how SK did. Schalke with another dominating victory over SK in the late game. Going up 2-0 in the series. One more win eliminates SK from playoffs and from Worlds. One more win puts Schalke a series away from the World Championship in China.
Schalke are just like the Grim Reaper, going up, knocking on the next door. Today it's Schalke. Who could it be next week? We'll see if they can finish it off too, because Schalke are in an absolute tear.
9 games in a row. 7 from the regular season, now 2 in playoffs. Look at the scene. SK look broken.
I mean, Crown Shot, hand in or head in hands, right? Like, how do you? He tried so hard in those early game fights, but I don't think he's being set up for success. No. He's in such a hard position, and he needs a comp built around him. Otherwise, he can't shine in these later fights.
Absolutely the case. We'll find out if they can. Schalke are on match point here in our first series. Look to secure the spot in the next round. I mean, Schalke are just monsters. They're absolutely monsters.